I'm back. Made it to the top of this. I don't know, this is a hill, isn't it? It's not a toll. So it's quite windy. There's Yestor and there's High Willhays that I'm aiming for. I'm going to go around, slightly flatter there, trace around the bottom of Yestor and end up at High Willhays. It's quite a strong wind from the north, but it's pretty much going to stay the same direction all evening and tomorrow morning. Not a bit of northeast, bit of northwest, but it's pretty much north or north-northeast, north-northwest. I've been a bit cheeky today. I've only brought a little bit of water because I knew there's a stream at the bottom of this, so I'm going to fill up from there. Which will make life a lot easier. Yeah. Okay guys, well, I'll see you a bit later. Hi guys, so here I am in my tent. Oh, I so nearly bailed on this one. It's freezing. This amazingly accurate thermometer tells me that it is 5 degrees. Yeah, 5 degrees. Right. It was 1 degree in the car about 4 o'clock. So here, I mean, it must be way below that. It's got to be -1 or 2 with wind chill, probably far more. In the Hilleberg Janu, I had to park, pitch on pretty much on a path really, which I'm a bit embarrassed about, but I don't think there'll be anyone walking on it tomorrow before I'm up. Maybe the odd dog walker, but I'll get up in a good time tomorrow, so I feel pretty safe and confident I'm not going to be in anyone's way. God, I'm so cold. It's just taken about half an hour for my my Trangia clone to melt a load of snow for some pot noodle. I love the curry flavour. I haven't had pot noodle until yesterday for about 20 years, and then a mugshot. I've got Netflix ready to rock, so actually I'm quite sorted, but it's still freezing. I've got thermals, got my thermal trousers on and some insulated army trousers. They're not very good, but they're okay. I've got a layer of, I've got a wool base layer, wool mid layer, down jacket, and my Gore-Tex waterproof. I've got quite a lot to eat though. I've got some Wayfarers, another mugshot, and some sweets. So I'm pretty sorted now actually. I'm feeling a lot happier than I was when I was setting up because I was freezing. I'll talk more about the almost complete balls up tomorrow morning when I can show you around a bit. But I've also got this foil windscreen protector, which is really good. If I touch the ground sheet, it's freezing instantly. This, you can't feel anything, so I'm using it as a second layer. It's really going to be for the dog, but why not sleep on it if I can? And it's quite good to lean on as well, really, so I don't ever have to touch the ground. But I'm on the limit of my temperature comfort, really. I have got all the windows open for good venting, but I'm a bit cold. Anyway, I'll crack on with my pot noodle now before it's gone. Cheers, guys. Morning, everyone. About 10 to 8. Saturday morning, the 2nd. And this is Dartmoor. That's Yestor up there that I didn't manage to get to last night, despite my best efforts. Oh. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, Dartmoor and the snow. God, look at this up here. I might go and have a look at that in a minute. Well, last night was almost a bit of a disaster. So I started at Meldon Reservoir, the other side of that hill. I've probably only walked 100 metres up, maybe 150. And I came along around the outside and then down here a little bit, but not too much. Crossing around there somewhere, probably finding one of those poles. And then I tried to get up, but it might not look it, but it was really, really tough. And I ended up in amongst some really quite big rocks, you know, knee to waist high rocks, good sized ones, but with snowdrifts of waist high underneath. And the light was fading fast. In fact, I had my head torch out by then, and it was actually quite dangerous. If I'd hurt myself, I would have been in real trouble overnight. The wind was much stronger as well. There's barely any wind this morning, but last night it was 10 to 20 gusts, or 10 with 20 gusts, and that was a bit scary, really. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a little walk just over to try and catch a bit more of that sunrise against the clouds. But this is beautiful. No real wind. The Hilleberg was fantastic. I pitched it really taut last night as I was expecting more wind, and I'm in such an exposed spot, but I actually was really lucky and didn't really get anything. So I offered the old flat, but that settled down by midnight and it was great. So I've made loads of stupid mistakes this weekend, which I'll talk about later, with the hope of learning from them. I've got the Trangia on melting some snow. That's going to give me a bit of breakfast, and then I'll be on my way. But I really want to catch this sunrise, so I'm going to go back up, take a few photos, and I'll be back soon. Hey guys, I'm back. Look at that view. Unbelievable. Just stunning. Yeah, so, God, it's funny actually. I found a really good path this morning, piece of cake, just here, but last night I was totally lost. Or not lost, but I couldn't find a path, and so walking was really tough. There's no direct route up to Yestor, and so I tried to just make my way, which is what I did last time, without trouble, but I did not take into account the snowdrifts, which are formidable. I've just noticed. These are my tracks, but look at these little ones. They must be foxes. Sniffing around last night, probably checking me out. So what have I learnt from my constant balls ups? Well, I've learnt that if you can see the grass, you know it's not that deep. As a rule of thumb, you can stand on it and it's not too bad. There is an exception to that. The exception is if the grass is really long, which is likely to be by water or up there, halfway up. I got to about halfway, maybe a bit more. The grass was really long, so you know, it was visible, so I thought I was walking on shallow grass, but it was up to my knees, and it was so deep purely because there was a bit of a underwater stream underneath, so they were growing longer. The other thing is snowdrifts. The wind has been coming from the north, which is over there. So if I was walking on the northern side for most of it, there wasn't that much snow. It's got this sort of slightly scoured, brushed appearance, as you can see, which means that the snow's a lot shallower here. You know, I mean, we've had far more snowfall than this, but the wind's just whipped across and shoved it out the way. But this snow has got to go somewhere, so I was walking on this largely north-facing walk for most of it, enjoying the fact that it was for the most part ankle deep with the odd bit of knee, and then suddenly I came across some rocks up here which were pretty dangerous with hindsight, and it was waist deep and the rest, and that was on a north-west facing bit. So if I'd gone further around here, I think that would have been way deeper. Way deeper. Anyway, What a view. So Trangie is on. So I mean, you can see the snowdrifts to a very small extent just behind any solid object. A dense bit of bush, well, you can see a lot here, and suddenly it's only up to my ankle, but it's a lot deeper than it was before. And then if I show you, this was the sort of size of rocks I was walking along on and trying to descend in head torch light. I haven't got my boots done up, so I don't really want to be walking through any of this. But yeah, a decent sized bush. You have the wind whipping across here, clearing it out, but the snow's got to go somewhere. So here, that's knee to waist high, this stuff. Well, it's knee high really. Beautiful aerodynamics. Yeah, so don't leave too late in the day is my first lesson. Watch out for snowdrifts on anything other than the side which faces the sun, the sun which faces the wind, which for the past few days has been north facing. Yeah, there you go. What fun indeed. It's beautiful. So, oh, there's more fox prints here, look. Padding along. Is that a tent I can see? It might be. I won't disturb them. Is that a tent or a rock? I don't know, I've never walked there. It looks like a tent to me. Anyway. I'm going back. I'm going to get warm again and take a few more photos. So the tent was superb. I made much bigger effort to reduce condensation last night because it was so cold. I had all my vents open and I had the very top bit of my inner open slightly, but I've still got condensation, which I suppose is inevitable in these temperatures, but a bit frustrating nonetheless. Oh, a bit deeper here. You can see that my Burger House Yeti gaiters have peeled off, which is really annoying. I did put them through their paces, in fairness, going through waist deep stuff and getting my foot sort of scraping against rocks which I couldn't see, but nonetheless still a little disappointing. Oh, just beautiful. God, it's like being in the Alps. I mean, with a bit less greenery, this is what the Alps look like, just much larger. I've never walked in the Alps, I must stress, only skied. Wow. Another tip I learnt: if you get up to the night for going for a wee, top up your tin with water, so that when you wake up you can get a brew on without having to leave the tent. But I need to do the toilet anyway, so there's no real benefit for me, but I did do that anyway. Let's have a look. How's it looking? It's looking okay. Still a little bit of ice. That's very slow. Very slow. Wow, lovely anyway. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, the tent's brilliant. There was obviously a slight dusting last night, not very much. In fact, that probably isn't snowfall, is it? That's probably just the wind wicking it up and depositing it on the back of my tent. It's a little bit... I pitched it late last night, I was shattered, so I haven't done a very good job on the front. That's perfectly capable of being a bit tauter, really. The ground was hard, as you can see. I'm sure I hit the odd rock, but I couldn't find a stone to hammer the pegs in with, so I did the really stupid thing of standing them in. Obviously, I missed that bush, so I'm hooked over a bit there. But no, the Hilleberg was amazing. Performed as you would expect. But for the money, I mean, that's what you'd expect, isn't it, really? You wouldn't expect anything less. But yeah. Oh, beautiful. Oh, sun's just coming over that cap, so I've probably got an hour or two before it gets to me and really starts to warm up. I'm not in too much of a rush this morning. I might hang around for another hour or two to get a bit of sunlight. Oh, I just wish I got up to Yestor. That would be amazing this morning, but oh, it was so dodgy, especially in the low light. I mean, if I had another 2 hours, with hindsight, if I had time, I would have gone around along the north-facing ridge and I could have got up. But I just had no time, and I couldn't, for the life of me, find a path, and yeah, just no chance really. Well, there we go. I think I saw a tent up there. I might go and say hello. I'll go and look at him from a distance, and if he's come out, I'll go and say hello, but I'll leave him to himself otherwise. Just beautiful. Right, I'm just waffling now, saying the same stuff over and over. This Trangia is pretty slow, is what I'd say. It takes a long time to melt ice and heat, or melt snow and heat up to water. A really long time. I guess I was probably waiting half an hour for that to boil, I would think, last night, for the same sort of amount. And I've used half my fuel, and I always carry that whole bottle full. So I always carry way too much fuel, and I've used half of it on 2 of those or 3 of those. Seems like a lot, really. Well, there we go. Right, anyway, I'll do another video a bit later on when the sun's come up. Oh, I just wish I could look. I wish I was in a better spot, this view. I mean, it's lovely, but I don't know. If I'd had another hour, if I'd finished work an hour earlier, I could have gotten a much better place. But not to worry, it's pretty incredible, really. Hopefully this won't be the last one. But my water bottle. So this was in the tent last night. It wasn't outside, I don't think. So half of it's frozen and half of it hasn't. Look. I don't know which side was on the floor. One which are probably that side, I suppose. Must have been. Just hasn't quite frozen solid yet, so it's obviously well below freezing. I thought I'd show you inside the tent while my mugshot. I've just wolfed down my Horlicks. Things get cold so quickly. My mugshot's nearly cooking. So I noticed about the hilly, you can't not get a bit of snow in this vestibule. I mean, it seems almost impossible. If the vestibule was really warm, it would probably melt, but actually, when it's this cold, it doesn't really matter, because it's, you know, it's just going to stay snow all night, really. So, not too worried about that. Although it does mean when you kneel on it, you probably melt it. Because of the angle of this, it does mean that when you open the door, stuff can go straight in. So I found that if I kept it closed at the top, and then, you know, had a small opening at the top to undo it, any snow would hit the inner and then roll off, which is why some of this is here, and then it keeps the inside a bit cleaner then. But I only just you know, worked that out on my second attempt, so it was a bit late. Oh no, this was on the inside. Oh no, that's frozen as well. So this was on the inside and that's frozen too. So it was definitely below freezing in the tent. This windscreen protector from Lidl, that was, I don't know, a couple of pounds, £3. And that was amazing, actually. The floor is so wet if you touch it, it's so cold. Sorry, not wet, cold. It's really, really nice to never, ever, ever have to touch the bottom. So if you're rolling over or kneeling up or fiddling around, that's great. Yeah. The other thing, which you might just about be able to see in the corner there, is that foil. Everything looks yellow and red, doesn't it? Is the foil-y coloured quilt that was really cheap, not that warm, but it was brilliant for me because I like to sleep with my head and my shoulders and out of the bag, so you know, the bag underneath my armpits. It's just a lot more comfortable than squeezing into a bag, even though my bag isn't that tapered. I have a broad shoulder and I find it a lot more comfortable staying out of it, really. But obviously my shoulders get really cold if I do that. So I had that quilt over the top, and even though it's nothing like as warm as the bag, it was enough to keep my shoulders warm, so it's very comfortable. Oh, there we go. Right, my mugshot must be ready now, and I'm going to get cracking and pack up. And you'll notice that my extremely heavy sleeping pad is quite deflated, and that's because it's got a leak. I was blowing it up every couple of hours, and it's not holding air anymore, so there we go. Right, guys, back in a bit, guys. Just in the middle of packing up, and the sun's just crept over. Oh, lovely. See if I can get one of the tent glistening. Oh, beautiful. Oh. God, I'm sad to be going, really, but I have plans today, so otherwise I'd string it out for a second night. Go for a bit further away and get a second night. And having said that, my gaiters aren't really up to it, so. Oh, so all packed up and walking back. I've done most of the flats, just downhill now. There's Meldon Reservoir, looking stunning. Bumped into a couple of blokes, one guy on skins who was out for the day, and one guy in a hilly solo who was out for the night. I didn't even know he was there, but he saw my torch. Obviously trying to keep a bit of a low profile, and he was quite quiet. Oh, lovely. Well, it's definitely heating up. The wind's cold, but the frost was melting off my tent pretty quick, so I'm not sure how much will be left by the next couple of days. But there we go, guys, another wonderful evening. Got to fix my Yeti gaiters, get a new camping mat. Bye.